as part of the school's curriculum. The students get to choose a movie with the teachers vetoing if necessary, of course. This time her whole class wanted to see Brokeback Mountain. The teachers resisted at first, but the class was adamant, and they went to see it. They thought the ending was stupid, because why couldn't they be together? They had good discussions, but not about homosexuality, about losing a friend, about what it means to fall in love, about harassment and violence, and what it's like to be perceived to be different. My friend is divorced, and she said that for the first time her daughter had shared her feelings about it with her classmates and later with her. But why had the teachers objected at first? They were afraid of the reaction of the parents. Not one parent complained, not one. Thank God for the next generation. Sometimes I'm proud of living here up north.
Brokeback Mountain is to be used as a teaching tool in high schools. Hooray! It makes me proud to be Canadian. Again! The British Columbian Teachers Federation Homophobia and Heterosexism Action Group has developed a Brokeback Mountain lesson plan. Stated outcomes of the lesson plan are to encourage students, 1, to analyze how this movie reflects current attitudes toward gay people, 2, to understand how homophobia impacts people's daily lives, and 3, to encourage students' personal choices to make the world more accepting of GLBT people. Among the questions given for discussion among students after viewing the film are the following. What factors influence homophobia in rural communities? How would they be similar to your community? To what degree has life changed for rural LGBT youth since 1963, when the movie was set? What needs to change in society before Jack Twist's dream of him and Ennis owning a ranch together would be a non-event in a rural community?
I grew up in a small town in southeast Oklahoma. I always knew I would have to leave, and it tore me apart to have to choose between my home and family or a real life.
As a boy, I was blessed that my father took me camping and fishing in the flat-top wilderness of northern Colorado. In this time with him, I learned to appreciate the world and its natural beauty. Brokeback takes me back to those places. They conjure emotions of connectedness, yearning, and humility. I remember those long summer days and starlit nights, telling stories around the campfires. The air began to chill. The experience was palpable. I can smell the smoke, taste the elk meat, feel the damp cold, and hear the crackling embers. A year ago, my father suddenly passed away. My brother and I took his ashes up to the mountaintop lake where he had taught us to fish as boys. It's one of the most important things I've ever done in my life.
Where I am now, you can't see me, way up high among the hazy blue, and you can't know that I am watching in the sweet, cool dream forever. Up here in the sweet forever, I can read your mind, the mind you never deigned to share with me. It's funny how I know you now better, since the world and I parted company. If I could, I'd comfort you and tell you it's all right. I'd sing the song that you once sang to me. But instead I'll watch you, see you safe in the sweet, cool dream forever. Ennis, being alone doesn't mend matters, and the whiskey ain't much help now neither. But each new wrinkle, each gray hair I cherish in the sweet, cool dream forever. I heard your whispered vow to me. I heard your silent prayer. I know more than you did, what you meant when you said, Jack, I swear. Will you ever look up at the stars again and wonder what it's like up there? If you do, perhaps you'll see me in the sweet, cool dream forever. See me waiting for you here in the sweet, cool dream forever.
When I first saw Brokeback, I questioned whether I was happy. After a month-long evaluation, I decided I am happy, but I need to get more passion in my marriage. After 11 years with the same gorgeous guy, we've gotten comfortable and need to make some changes. Many of us married women have been asking the same questions. This has turned into a process of self-evaluation for many of us, which is good. Everyone needs to make changes in their lives, and if this movie has sparked that for us, that's a good thing.
I too have lost that spark. I don't know why or how it happened.
I turned 40 this month and have been married for 14 years, have 2 children, a house, 2 dogs, and a white picket fence. Yeah, you name it. I have all the things in life I thought I needed. My husband got his master's, and I've been in this job for 16 years. For the first time, I looked at our marriage, we both did, and realized that we fell through the cracks. We used to have all sorts of wild sex. We even broke the waterbed once. I remember waterbed sex. On a really big night, you have to take Dramamine. Yeah. Anyway, seeing this movie brought out so much I was not ready to handle. It made me think life is so precious. I've been trying to get my husband to see the movie. I want him to connect. I don't like to nag, so I'll wait till he's ready. But we did have our first intimate talk last night in a long time. We both admitted we need each other. We're still in love. But it could go bad if we just let it go. This movie gave me courage and opened my eyes. Brokeback saved my life. I truly believe that.
I'm a heterosexual married mother of 5 kids. This movie changed my marriage. We've always had a good marriage, but after Brokeback, I saw how important it was for me to cherish my partner and to not take for granted the freedom we have to live and express our love, both verbally and intimately. I feel like I just woke up from a long sleep. I feel haunted by the idea that life is half over for me, and I'm suddenly aware of how grateful I am. Suddenly aware of how grateful I am for the treasure of my man, who is still sexy, caring, deeply committed, and my best friend.
I'm 39, female, totally heterosexual, and in love with my live-in boyfriend since seeing Brokeback. Jack died at my age, and Ennis was left lonely with important words never said and with deep regrets at my age. If I'm going to have a life partner, I'm going to be like Jack and love him to the point of reckless abandon. Brokeback showed me what fear can do, and I do not want to have those regrets.
As a middle-aged married man, this story and movie have made me determined to re-examine my career and my job. I don't love what I do anymore, and it's time for a change. I need to take a look at opportunities to see what I could be missing. I'm also determined to reconnect with old friends and strengthen the friendships I have. I'm more of an Ennis type, and expressing emotion is difficult for me. I want to tell my wife and my kids more often that I love them. I want to hug my friends and tell them how special they are.
I'm 21 and I'm still in the closet. I'm pretty much one of the guys, not remotely interested in the gay scene. I don't hate it, it's just not my thing. Even though I live in LA, it's pretty hard to find someone like myself, so I've never had a boyfriend. Before I saw Brokeback Mountain, I felt I would end up alone. I never thought I would find a guy and have a fulfilling relationship. And now as I type this, I hate myself for giving up on that dream without a fight. The idea of finding true love came back into my life. Brokeback Mountain helped me come out of the closet to myself.
One of my friends, a devoutly religious grandmother, bought Brokeback Mountain at the local Walmart yesterday. After viewing it, she sent me a most touching email. Like so many straight people, she had no idea how society has treated gay folk. It's simply not in her experience. Well, seeing Brokeback Mountain for the first time 3 months ago, I started an intense email exchange with her about homophobia and how it affected my life. And she knows now. And her reaction to the film shows it.
It has taken nearly 2 hours to regain my composure. I need to talk about this film. It is so beautiful, so perfect, so unbearably painful to watch. From the moment Jack drives away for the first of many times, and Ennis crumples in the alley, the truths start coming at me. The ugly truths, the hatred that haunts their love, the lies they both must tell, the relentless onward movement of tragedy unfolding. I want all the Jacks and Ennises to live their lives in love and peace. I want the wretched hatred that flames in the eyes of the boss and Jack's father to soften with acceptance and understanding. I want both of those beautiful boys to sit down to the table together and have a piece of mother's cherry cake. I want no bloodied shirts in the closet. I want no closet at all. I want no reason to sob without comfort for 2 hours after watching a movie that reveals such excruciating pain that I feel raw and bleeding from exposure to it. That's what I want. Yes, that's what I want.
In the meadow on high, we would smell grass and pine, and embraced we would lie in the wild columbine. Scalding tears of guilt never said, "You are mine," and my lover got killed in the wild columbine. Weary life of regret I will drown in wine, for my lover is dead in the wild columbine. Soil wilted and bled of my death warning sign, for my lover's long dead in the wild columbine. I will never forget till my day's last decline, the smell of grass when we met in the wild columbine.
The single best part of this Brokeback Mountain journey, and the part I hope will far outlast the novelty of having our great work of art, is that it has stirred a quiescent multitude of rural, suburban, and downright country gay men out of their settled, passive, and ultimately suffocating hidey holes. Having been disrespected or ignored by our so-called gay community, we have scanned the horizons and found a bleak landscape. By and large, we have settled, some for abstinence, some for furtive bathroom encounters, some for sex with prostitutes, some for computer porn. Many of us have all but given up the quest for a mate. The sad thing, and this applies to the real senior division here, such as myself, is that this is the time of life when engagement with the community and a friend or lover really signifies the passage to a dignified rather than pathetic old age. Yes, my cat is great company, but he can't bring me breakfast in bed on a day when the joints aren't really working. Even sadder is that those of us who have reached advanced years have a wealth of experience and hope to pass on, if only anyone was listening, or even thought that there was beauty and worth in aging. Most of a generation of talent, love, and experience was wiped out by AIDS. I can't speak for anyone but myself here, but being strong and authentic and forward-looking is a job that requires more fortitude than I can muster on my own most days. And I thought I was pretty much just that, on my own. I can see now that I underestimated you. You are all out there, and you share common life experiences and common fears and joys and sorrows with me. I hope crying over or celebrating this movie brings us together. I need to know that all of you are out there to move forward, and I really hope that some of us can become real friends, and most of all, I hope I can find my complement out there, hiding on a ranch, or in a flat, or, best of all, on a beach in Hawaii. It has been more than a decade since I slept in the arms of another man, largely by my own choice, for I will not settle for Mr. Right Now. I have worked too hard and paid too dearly to become the man I am to disrespect myself with one-night stands or weekend flings, tempting though that might be. I am worth love, and so are all of you.
I'm not sure I'm representative of any big demographic, but Brokeback Mountain has had one striking impact in the way that I perceive the culture around me lately. It really offends me to see pop culture icons and entertainers resorting to the old stereotypes of gays for humor. Most entertainers would stop dead in their tracks about jokes that stereotype women or African Americans. But with gays, that type of offensive stereotyping was never questioned until now. Brokeback Mountain has put a universal, dignified human face on gay humanity. People may be taking a while to admit that many families everywhere have members who are not straight, but Brokeback Mountain delivers the stunning lesson that individuals' collisions with their gayness is a matter of supreme seriousness. Maybe tragedy, maybe majesty, and that anyone who wants to make fun of it is seriously embarrassing him or herself.
Brokeback has become something very precious, profound, life-changing, and even sacred.
I dragged my rather conservative hubby to see Brokeback Mountain. I warned him not to make comments or anything during the film. He actually behaved pretty well. Anyway, the movie ends, and I'm crying like a baby, and he turns to me and says,
They shouldn't make movies like this.
"Uh-oh, here we go. I don't need this right now." "What do you mean?"
The ending was so sad. I don't like feeling like crap after a movie.
"Oh, honey.
What?
Oh, am I the only person crying in the theater?"
Nah, a couple guys crying over there, and that girl, and I even had to hold back tears.
So the big, macho, conservative, sports-loving Stallone fan actually loved the movie. He's getting so lucky tonight.
I've been feeling pretty devastated lately, and this may sound odd, but weirdly enough, a movie about a relationship between two men has contributed to my recovery. It's bizarre, and I can't figure it out, but the heat generated on that movie screen. Getting the chance to read the forum, sharing everyone's stories, squealing and giggling, it's been amazing therapy. And my awareness of myself as a sexual being, well, I feel like my pilot light's been reignited. Ugh. How strange is that? I'll be in Montana next month. I've got family there. And those cowboys better look out. It cracks me up that some folks get offended by the content of Brokeback. In all likelihood, it'll cause more straight cowboys to get laid than any other movie in history.
We never meant to hurt anyone, but we couldn't help what we were doing. We were in love.
Up all night, listening to the ticking of the clock on the kitchen wall. Up all night,
For me, there is a simple explanation for why there is so little talk of Alma and Marine. I'm a straight woman, raised in a patriarchal to the extreme household, and I can tell you their suffering is par for the course. We know it, we feel it, and we live it in one way or another every day of our lives. We know more than we care to about emotionally unavailable and cheating men. Although I believe that without the suffering of the families, mothers, daughters, wives, this movie would not have the impact that it does, it would not be the work of art that it is, the fact remains that we already know about the women. We are laid low by this movie because we can finally connect to masculine pain. Because we have not had the occasion to see two men in a timeless romance. They are our focus in this movie. When Jack says that the truth is that he misses Enna so bad he can hardly stand it, Jake Gyllenhaal made this movie so real and human that I will never see men, especially gay men, the same ever. They became something new, something fully human. I never knew I was missing something. I thought I had empathy. I had nothing. Since I now fully identify and connect with the men, they are telling my story as well as the women do. Two men also have equal power, and so we as women are drawn to them to tell our story in a way never told before by women characters. It is a powerful thing for us to have our hearts rendered anew in male bodies. I think that's why the men are so stunning.
How is it that I never knew, through all the lonely years ahead, the things that I would mourn the most were all the words we left unsaid? Grieving still for vows unkept and of the music still unplayed, with tears unwept that flood the soul for promises we never made. When efforts to recall your smile call up a stranger's face instead. When memory fails and vision pales, I'll regret those words unsaid. As the time winds down and days go short, and evening falls with vespers rung, my tears well up and fill